It's the 31st of March 2024 and today we transit the Panama Canal. It's about 80 kilometres and it's going to take 8 hours or so. Technically it's a day at sea, but I've scored a spot on deck with every camera I possess to take stills, videos, time lapses, etc. I did the same for the Suez Canal and I'm not missing this. This transit highlights my geography nerd status. The path through the canal on this map is from the GPS track I recorded, and I'll add to my collection of GPS tracks from around the world. In the last video, I left us approaching the Bridge of the Americas, which sort of marks the entrance to the canal. It's still windy and I don't know, the microphone's not working yet. Fear not, it does get fixed. There are a lot of technical issues that day. I did mention the container port before. It seems to be a weird location, but it's where they load and unload the containers that go across the isthmus via rail. Like the Suez Canal, a lot of people are interested to see at least part of the transit. The foredecks, which are usually closed, will be busy throughout the day. This is one of the tugs that will nudge us into position to enter the first set of locks, Pedro Miguel. Even though we're an 80,000 tonne ship, the wind blows us around and we have to be lined up just right to get into the lock and not break stuff. This container ship is preceding us. You can see that it's got 5 or 6 tugs to help it get into position. She's going through the new heavy section of the canal to the left. We'll go around her and go through the old locks. Put the wireless microphone on to see if I can blot out some of the wind noise. All the tugs busy at work. Another one of these indignant pelicans flies ahead of the boat, lands on the water, waits for the boat to go around, boat doesn't go around. Blah, blah, blah. Ship in the lock there, I think. They're actually running a commentary down on the bow. Got people serving water and everything down there, but due to the wind noise I can't actually hear the commentary, so if I could I'd repeat all the knowledge to you. This falls into the category of one of those things that you can sort of only do for the first time once. I've never been on a ship going through a lock before, and I've never been on the Panama Canal before. So this is going to be a bit of a different experience to going through the Suez Canal. I don't know if you can see the little tractory things that run on these rails there. See it there? Oh, that's a better shot. These are the mules that will actually tow the ship through the lock. And so before we go through, we've got to have lines attached to them. They have big winches and everything on them, and they will stop the ship from clobbering the sides, and we won't go through on our own power. That from the water level there to the water level up there is where we're going to be lifted through this flight of locks, and then I think there's one more after this. And the reason why they need to lift the ship is because we've got to get over these hills. And there's like bigger ones. This is just sort of this side, but way further in there's big cut through the range of hills that runs down the spine of Central America, Cordillera, and the cut's called the Culebra Cut. Although I thought it had changed its name to something else. Anyway. Oh, I think I forgot to mention that it looks pretty obvious now we're going through this left-hand lot. Oh, the one question I have is when they start lifting the ship, can you actually feel it? Because it doesn't take very long, like 15 minutes maybe. So I will let you know. So is it a crocodile, an alligator or a caiman? But he's a good size. So don't fall in. Seeing plenty of wildlife. We haven't even gone through the first lock and there's some deer here. I wonder if the crocodile was after them. And there is a ship going through the parallel. That's the heavy end over there. That was where that container ship ahead of us was going. This looks distinctly like where we were yesterday. I like the big wheel there in case we sort of like bump the corner. I mean, given what happened to that bridge in Baltimore the other day, is a ship this mass hitting something like that relatively slowly would do a lot of damage. Our turn for the first lot. Gee, it's squeezy. Got the second mule. Let's see the lock gates swing back into recesses on the side of the lock there. All aboard. Up this slate there. And we've got two more mules coming up. For the next lock I'm going to change microphones because all the dinging in the, I'm not sure whether it's picking it up through this microphone.
These trains at every lock?
Yes. Because they pull us through, we don't go through under our own power.
Alright, I'm here now.
So I think I mentioned it yesterday, but the morning run is ships from the Pacific to the Caribbean, whatever you want to call it, and the afternoon run is the other way around. So we're part of the morning run through to the Caribbean. It'll take us 8 to 10 hours. A black vulture just chilling. No, that's what it's called. Bastard waited until I wasn't watching and then climbed up the get it on the other camera on the next one. Okay, now I know what the process is. Okay, just got accosted by Angela. She's going to bring you a drink. But yes, we're definitely rising and to answer my previous question, no, you don't actually feel the ship lifting. You can see the gates are starting to open now. And they'll slot back into those recesses in the side there, so we don't bump them on the way through because they're sort of valuable. See the handrails just folded down so the cables from the mule can pass over the top. I've got 3 cameras going. Doing a time lapse on the phone. I've got the Insta360 trying to do a time lapse of the whole trip, and then I've got the RX10 that I'm talking to you on. I'm really talking to you on now. More technical problems. The mic failed. And another soggy lizard. Okay, next flight of locks. Well, this is only a single lock in this one. And this I'm pretty sure is Pedro Miguel. Just one of the small boats tonking along. That's the new level. You see how that's higher than we are? It's because in the new level the locks are all just in a single flight, and so this is split as per the original design. That green ship that was in front of us has already been through this set of locks, and we're through next, and then we'll be up to the level of Panama Canal and Gatun Lake. I think I said that already. Okay, so I made you suffer the first lock in real time. We'll speed things up for this one. Makes the lift of the ship more apparent. Okay, I have the BBC announcer microphone back on again. Hopefully a bit easier to hear me now. Heading down through the main part of the canal. This is the Culebra Cut. The poor geological conditions and the huge amount of material that had to be removed pretty much did for the French effort, and was a major challenge when the Americans took over. This was one of the greatest engineering feats of the early 20th century, even if it doesn't look like much now. So we're currently galloping along at 17 kilometres an hour. What that is in knots, I do not know. Okay, let's speed it up a bit. This is the main canal now, heading towards Gatun Lake. We're about 25 metres above sea level at this point. Sorry about the tilt on the camera, I blame the wind. Okay, coming up to Gamboa. It's a sort of lake on the right hand side that comes in here.
And this is sort of where we go into it starts widening out into Gatun Lake. These small boats here, not sure what they're doing. There's quite a few of them. There's another one, water taxi, something, I don't know. There's the settlement of Gamboa on the side of the canal there.
This is the Panama Canal Railway. A bit after this it turns north around the bank of Gatun Lake.
One of the trains on the Panama Canal Railway. Again, as I mentioned before, he's hauling containers across that they take off the ships, haul them across on a train and load them on the ship on the other side. So primarily to reduce the draft of the ship so it can get through the canal. You may not take them all off, just enough to reduce the draft. Have the Easter Bunny because it's Easter Sunday. And just sticking to the topic, the Panama Canal Railway runs literally right along the bank of the canal here. I wonder what it does to get around Gatun Lake. I suppose it's supposed to head further inland. Oh, this bloody wind. It's another ship on our lake. They must be starting to come through from the other direction, ready to go through the locks this afternoon because it's 11:30 now. So is he going to pass us or is he going to go down one of the other little channels? We shall see. I get the impression that it's hauling gas. I'll tell you what, the wind has been the bane of this trip for photography. Gave up and swap sides. It's not quite so windy over here. On the other side it was just ridiculous. I had a bag with my water and everything in it. It was just being blown around the deck, contents and all. Another ship coming through. Immediately in a skinny bit. Right, lunching a muesli bar. The crash on the lakes, of course, with these little jungle-covered islands. We've both got to do a sharp turn in here. And over there, if it'll focus on him, there's one of the small boats coming through, heading to the Pacific from the Caribbean. This is one of the small boats coming through. Most of the ones we saw in Panama City were sailboats. They're the adventurous type, I suppose. So that's about where we are. And so looks like we head up to that channel there, and then that's the exit of the Panama Canal to the Caribbean. I think that's the ship that was directly in front of us. And there's the bridge there. That will be over the channel. So we'll be heading down that way, following it. They're approaching really slowly. Having a look here, and is there like one set of locks here, or is it twinned like Miraflores? And also, if you look over there, see the water the other side of that bridge. Is that the Caribbean? Don't know. It looks like that is the dam on the Chagres River. Geez, I thought it flowed the other way. I keep getting my Panamas and Colons mixed up. And with regard to the locks, yes, they are twinned. And you see there's two ships in there at the moment. So we got to wait our turn. That mechanical arrow there is to show the ship pulling in, which side to pull in. It's quite simple, mechanical. It looks like it's got some lights on it to light it up at night. And the guys in the rowing boat are handling the ropes.
Yes, the microphone's gone again. You can see how much lower the ship in front is now as she drops down to the Caribbean. You can see the scale of the locks here. You get the impression that the ships are built to fit through the canal. This ship seemed to have a couple of passengers on board. We waved to each other across the gap as they lifted and we dropped. As you can see, it's a tight fit. The rate at which the water is released from the lock is quite fast and you drop quickly. Here is our tug to guide us out. We are now at the Caribbean level and ready to head out under the Atlantic Bridge and out to sea. This is one of the tuna boats like we saw in Manta. It has the helicopter parked on the front. Must be going through back to the Pacific. We're just about through the canal now, but there isn't any more interesting tech stuff to see. I'm going to head inside to see if I can get something to eat and drink. I've been outside in the heat and wind all day, and the lure of food, drink and air conditioning is too much. Check out the food department. It's closed. Bum.
This is the breakwater that was built at the Cologne end because it's big flats and to dredge a channel through the flats, and tide is not very high. Tidal difference is not very high here. Technically, once we sail through these heads, that's it as far as the Panama Canal stuff that I read in the 600-page book that Angela bought me, which I enjoyed very much.
I do finally get a shower, food and drink, and we talk about our experiences passing through the canal over dinner. Tomorrow we have a day at sea and then our last stop, the Caribbean island of Aruba, which is a country within the Kingdom of the Netherlands, even though it's just off the coast of Venezuela. See you all then, and thanks for watching.